Today's day 235 of the Arukh HaShulchan OC. For some reason, yesterday I made a mistake and I stopped the Seif early. We actually were supposed to do Seif Gimel in Kuf Samach yesterday, and I'm not sure why I didn't realize that. I stopped after base. So today we're doing Kuf Samach Gimel to Kuf Samach Dalet. If you'd like to sponsor an upcoming Yeshua of the Arukh HaShulchan OC, it'd be greatly appreciated. Please contact me directly. So Gimel, there are two languages. There are two lashonos. The Gemara two versions. Blushing echad, one version. Even if it's not a shas chak, even if it's not at difficult circumstances, you can make a stipulation. And according to the other version, dafka b'shas chak, only at a time of difficulty may make such stipulation. Rabbeinu says to be ayin shom. Rabbeinu says to be yechid afilu shlo b'shas chak. Rabbeinu says even if it's not a shas chak. But other the great Achronim rule, the Rak B'Shas Al only works to make stipulation at a time when the circumstances are difficult. Such as you're traveling b'derech on a road, and you won't be able to, it's not easy to get water on the road, etc. Similar cases. That's Yam Shashem Magen Avram. Rabbeinu Rishonim Pasuk Kain, and the Holy Rabbah. Rabbeinu Rishonim Pasuk Kain, and many Rishonim Pasuk Kain. Yoser. More than further, one of the Gedolim wrote that even though Amashal has those cloud, then the Holy Rabbah named says that today we don't make stipulation at all. I've never made such a stipulation. I've never heard of anybody who does it in our day and age. Nevertheless, if it is a time of difficulty, then same kutim, such as traveling non-Jews, kasha loving to mine, it's difficult for you to find water. He may make such a stipulation even in our day and age. The Mishnah Berurah writes, Shas Chak is, even if he knows that there's water that he can find along the way, but he reckons, and even if he reckons that he can find water within 4 meals, the stipulation too, so it still works. So that's a pretty big leniency. Mishnah Berurah says that it's all according to the significance of the difficult circumstances. If it's a shas chag, although you can rely on a condition in our day and age, but you have to be very careful and diligent to make sure your hands remain clean. And again, the best thing to do is to put your hands in gloves. Dalit, she's not even made a conditioning. Later on, you get water at the time you're going to eat. Not rely on stipulation. You should wash your hands and not make a bracha. Because of the Torah, that night Lamani Rak with chakras. The Torah says the night only works in the morning, ayin shak. Some people say that is because we make a bracha until it's time when we wash negavasar, and that can be relied on a bit for the Suda. Ramah has a different approach. Because he writes the other money tonight, the tonight only works when you're washing not for the purpose of achila. 2 minutes until chakra is like washing in the morning. But if you wash for the purpose of eating, low mani taibos and atila, a condition does not work in that washing. Ad kan l'shana. What does it mean? Pirdvar means to say the chora echmani tonight. How does a stipulation work at all? When we say brachas technically tilas daim suda, immediately the tilas daim should be juxtaposed directly to the meal. But that's in when somebody is eating, watching for the purpose of eating. So it has to be juxtaposition. But when you're watching for the purpose of eating anyway, but for another purpose, such you came out of the bathroom, or you're watching your hands to something which is supposed to going to dunk in liquid, or you have the mekilas, your hands are not clean, and so if they have suda, that does not have to be adjacent to suda. And that is similar to washing in the morning, where the washing is not for the purpose of eating. There would be no bracha in one is washing on any other occasion other than for eating and for the morning when one gets up. There's no bracha if one doesn't have a mind to eat right now. Not eating, not washing immediately before eating. Nevertheless, what do we care? Since in this case you don't require bracha, don't make a bracha. Netilas Yadayim works for the stipulation, even if you don't make a bracha. But he says, "V'kol shekain the certainly works if you wash your hands for one meal and you make the stipulation work for all the other meals of the day. That it works. You might not even need a stipulation if you wash your hands properly. Mishabur says even in this case you need a stipulation. The low community road said now he does want to say it does not work from one meal to another meal. This certainly seems true. You have to wash for some purpose. I mean, it's a clown if you don't need to wash at all right now, only for eating later on. So that's what the Ramah is referring to. Ramah is saying, of course, you washed earlier in the day for a meal, then you can be samech on that with the stipulation for the rest of the day. He's saying to wash for no reason whatsoever. Even you didn't leave the bathroom, you didn't touch the mukom hasamechusim, didn't do anything like that. You just wash for no purpose except for the achila later on. That you can't do. You wash if you're washing for eating, certainly. If you wash for any other purpose, you wash for eating, you would make a bracha and rely on that bracha the next day. If not eating, you would not make a bracha, but you can rely on that washing the rest of the day as long as that washing was for some halachic purpose. So the Mishnah Berurah says about this. The Halacha says that this is only if you had you wash or eat immediately, but in the meat, but you want to do something in the middle. You want to wash and eat immediately, but do something in between, so it's not going to be immediate. For that, tonight doesn't work. But if he doesn't want to eat now at all, but he's washing it now that in order to be able to eat later on, and this is more lenient. Or Shulchan says it also works even if it's not for some halakhic purpose. And the stipulation can work under those circumstances. Okay, hey, somebody sitting at a meal. He touches his shok, which in here it seems to mean the calf, although I'm not sure because the calf is usually, I don't think at the age we consider that mechumas and mechusim, so I think it's evidently the lower thigh or the upper thigh. Or other places which are normally covered by a person, or disgusting places, which they are beads of perspiration. Or scratches his head, something else like this. Or remembers that he touches such places after washing. Also, if he got distracted from watching, safeguarding his hands. If he goes out to defecate, have to go back and wash again and make a Netilas Yadayim, a bracha again. So let's say one doesn't make a bracha Netilas Yadayim unless one went a distance. Specifically, I should say, when to spend a significant amount of time away from that table. However, somebody goes to defecate, everybody agrees that you have to make a bracha again. Of course, that's if you intend to eat bread for this. If you don't intend to eat bread again, you don't wash again. The bracket says, if you touch one of the covered places while your food is in your mouth, usly blood, you're not allowed to swallow it until you wash your hands. It's like the Chumah Yisrael. Arukh HaShulchan says this is too big a Chumah. Okay, if you look in Chumas Perches Mishnah Beis, that seems to be evidence for the Arukh HaShulchan's perspective. Mishnah Berurah says that Mekomas HaMechusim precludes places which are Megulim, such as your hands and the places which are open on your arms. If you touch that, there is no issue. Mishnah Berurah says if you defecated or you touched a disgusting place or you went away for a great time, you need to Netilas Yadayim with a bracha. But if you touched just the place that's normally covered, or you urinated, even though you rub yourself clean, you need to Netilas Yadayim without a bracha. It says to look in other places. Mishnah Berurah Paskins also like the Magen Avraham that you should not actually, if you have the piece of bread in your mouth, you should not swallow it until you wash, like that Chumah Yisrael, which is a very interesting thing. Okay, Again, Aruch HaShulchan in this case is much more lenient. Kuf Samachay. Hoset Rachav, Barotza Lechol, Im Daim in Tilachas. If somebody goes to the bathroom and also wants to make a Tilas Daim, can he kill two birds with one stone? That's a good question. Aleph, somebody who went to the bathroom and attended to his needs, whether defecating or urinating. Urinating, defecating. Wants to eat. Shalul Rashi. In Swatli Toshtei Pomid asked Rashi, he has to watch twice. The Shivan he asked, he responded. The Shol Rabbeinu Yaakov ben Yokar, he asked one of his Rabbeim. But historically, Toshtei until he said he has to watch twice. Rishon, Asher Yotza, the first one for Asher Yotza. Shni Al Tilas Adaim, the second one Tilas Adaim. Avani Svirali, but Rashi says that was my Rebbe said. But I hold the Tila Achas Oil Kan Lakan Akal Shono when the Tila works for both. The time Moshe Rabbeinu Yaakov and they have brachas. The reason for Rabbeinu Yaakov is says Arukh HaShulchan is because of the brachas. Then you vote Tila on Tilas Adaim. Well, make first bracha on Tilas Adaim. Chaver Asher Yotzar. You have segment Tila Motzi. The Asher Yotzar will be interruption. Should the washing the Motzi. First Tila Asher Yotzar. Chaver Tilas Adaim. Vice versa. You have segment Tila bracha. The we have to between the washing and the bracha on Tilas time. Rashi's feeling love hefsek. Rashi does not have hefsek. The tzorach l'shnei brachas. So you need both brachas. Lo shaykh hefsek. There's not shaykh hefsek. Kmo yakna has. It's like Yontav Motzei Shabbos, where you do Yain Kiddush Ner Havdalah Zman. Now I'm seeing when Birchas Yain Lashes here we interrupt between the bracha of the wine and the drinking. Ben hefsek is not interruption. Came brachas elu, so too in these brachas. We hold agdim made shit saying you can say the bracha you want, whichever bracha you want first. U'shnei netilos ain't daito. She is not happy with two netilos. If your hands are already clean, how can you wash a superfluous washing and make a bracha tilas time? The carbs of bracha batolas is close to bracha batola. Yes, you with those who wrote Rishona lo yito kedin netila. The way out of that is that the first one you should not do according to halacha. Let's say you don't use a keli, etc. Or she got by the time you come into or touch somewhere in the middle, touch someplace which is disgusting. But two are cuss with him. Ain't or tell you talk about machas. The two shulchan right if you only want to wash once, then after you pour it on your hands once and you one time on your hands, you run together, and then when you're drying them, you make the bracha on the tilas yadayim. Mishnah says that the Achronim write that according to us that we do revius at one time on each hand. So if that's the case, the tilas yadayim is complete immediately, and it's appropriate to make the tilas yadayim immediately. So Asher Yotzar would be an interruption between the netila and the bracha. And therefore, he prefers that you do two washings with getting your hands dirty in the meantime. In two washings, there's several difficulties. I've say about these suggestions, which we clarified. And not everybody is clear about this point, how to do it. The best thing to do is like Rashi and do one bracha. One washing. Best make out the before Shiyatza. Asher Yotzar will have a hefsek. The Asher Yotzar is not a hefsek. It's no different than saying, go feed my oxen because they need to eat before I eat. It will have a hefsek, which is not an interruption. This is clear. If you have to go back to the middle of the meal, and then you come out, you wash once, and you make a bracha on tilas yadayim b'achar Asher Yotzar. Shom leika hamotzi, because there's no hamotzi in that case. Good point. And Asher Yotzar itself, those who say, you should always make a bracha on tilas yadayim before Asher Yotzar. So this way back when. So what's the big deal if we do it that way? This is our minhag, says Aruch HaShulchan. And this especially because it's a very prevalent thing. Because many of the Bali Musar say that one should check oneself to defecate before eating. It's down from the Shloah Kodesh and the Seder Hayoim and Eliyah Rabbah. So he does this work, goes securely in his way. I'm sure Rashi Pasach came, especially since Rashi passed away. But let's say you have to make a bracha achrona. You also go to the bathroom. When you wash your hands, you should say first Asher Yatzar, and then afterwards the bracha achrona. The Asher Yatzar Mikra Todir Neg. The Asher Yatzar is called more prevalent. Todir Sheino Todir Kodem relative to the bracha achrona. I mean, no shear. Also, there's no shear for the I guess there's no shear for the Asher Yatzar. I don't know why that makes a difference. There's no shear of hefsek. I'm not sure what he's saying with that. Because can be yasin a cover coin birchas hamazon. Suddenly when he go out to defecate before birchas hamazon, the bavark Asher Yatzar first make Asher Yatzar chaka bavark birchas hamazon first Asher Yatzar then birchas hamazon. I guess it means Asher Yatzar there's no shear that there's you make Asher Yatzar even for the smallest amount of urine or feces, and therefore it's more chomer bracha than burning foshel sachamicha, which requires a shear. Okay, Mishnah Berurah says about the minhag which Arukh HaShulchan wrote about. They're like Rashi. He doesn't like that. He said don't do it, but the evet. If you already washed the tefillah which is kosher l'suda, or it's with him to wash 2 times, sharatzilah means that you could do l'chatchila, wash 1 time and 1 time for both, and that is like the Arukh HaShulchan. So I'm sure we can be makel like the Arukh HaShulchan and wash one washing for both the bathroom and the meal, and you make a shekel and then Asher Yatzar. Gimel, Bimrabi Masubi Masuda. There are many people sitting at a meal. I got to note the other tchila for the person who is of greatest stature washes first. Time to learn by the water before the meal. You start from the greatest person present. The question is Yeshiv Gadol Yishmor Yadav. Actually, you have to sit and wash his hands until everybody else has washed his hands. So everybody else has washed their hands. Mutaretz, and the answer is Alter Maisi Taka Kamel. So they bring him to play immediately and eats, so it doesn't have to wait. Please in near it. So according to it seems, if the person of great stature will have to wait until everybody washes. Come over Shabbos. Shalechem Mishal Rak Lifnei Baba. It's like Shabbos he's making a motzah for everybody. Tzarech Lamtin Hashiu Kulam has to wait until everybody washes. Stay Sheitu Yidei Chavasim Lechem Mishnah. So it can be Yotzi with his Lechem Mishnah. And Miderech Ech Shagol Empty Kulam. It's not appropriate for a person of great stature to wait. Chem Bemes a Rosh no to the Bachrona. The Rosh will wash last. Rosh Kosel Batur B'Siman Kum Sabav Rabbeinu Beis Yosef B'Siman Zeh. Right here in brackets. Okay, I don't know what that's referring to, but it's not shaykh here. Those are Rosh related. Even when the Gadol is going to have to wait, you start from the Gadol. He writes this halacha he writes the halacha without any qualifications because this is the generic statement of the Gemara. Even after writing that this issue about the Gadol having to wait. And it seems to this that the Gadol always washes first, even though it requires him to sit and wait. As a minute today that the Gadol always washes first. Mishnah Berurah says today that the minhag is that each person washes on his own piece of bread. The minhag goes back to the time of the Talmud that the Gadol washes first and eats, and he doesn't make, it's not motzi others than motzi, but each one makes a bracha for himself. So to each of the people present, wash hands and make a bracha, each one on their own, and they don't wait at all. But again, that's where obviously each person has their own bread. Or Shabbos Lechem Mishnah. That only is a Sham Seder Aseba Ketzad. Also says there, how do you come into a meal? Mizman Shtei Mitos, when the 2 beds, Shishivas Ma'aseh Mita, when they used to sit on beds. Gadol Meiseh B'Rosh, the person of greater stature sits at the head. V'Shein Olamate Meno, and the one of secondary stature below him. Shlosh the 3. Gadol Meiseh B'Rosh, the one of greater stature is at the head. Sheni lo l'malimena, and the person who is second in stature above him. Shlish lo l'matimena, and the third one below him. Kasim ba'abas Shulchan shel Talmid Chacham Ketzad. And we learned Barbas also, how does the table Talmid Chacham look? Shnei Shlishim, 2/3 of it are Gedio, are covered. Ushlish Galoi, and 1/3, 2/3 of it are covered, and the third is uncovered. Shalom, Leakar Kosos, on that uncovered part of the table, they put down the plates and the cups. Vachibush means to say, this is what it means to say. The Arukh HaShulchan explains. Shnei Shlish Me'al Shulchan L'Tzad Ochlim, the 2/3 table, which is towards the people are eating. Mechus Mappa is covered with a cloth, the Kanech PM. So they use the edge of the cloth to wipe their mouth. To put the bread and foodstuffs on it. And the outer third is uncovered. Put out the plates and the cups. Ayin Sham. There it explains that Gemara, which always confused me, where the rings should be on the table. And then our tables don't have rings. We don't have to explain this. Guess once we're on the Torah Gemara, it talks there about the bed of a Talmid Chacham. Kol she'ein tachteh el sandalim moschama, anything which only has under it sandals in the summer, only moschama, and shoes in the winter. Shalom ba'aretz, under bed of Tamaritz, domel otsar balum. It's like a treasure trove. Mishimasha kol dach zamita, puts everything under his bed. Ve'en lasos kain, and that's not proper derech eretz. The ochli mashkin, the ochli mashkin tachas amita. We're presuming Amoritz also puts the bread and the food and beverage under his table, under his bed. That's not appropriate because ruach rosh or because a bad spirit devolves upon them. It's barazab yerodea simukuf tezayin ayin shom, and that will be explained. That is explained yerodea. Ha solik hilchos netilas yadayim. Tomorrow night, Mirat Hashem hilchos betzias hapa.